Welcome everybody to the Vendor Spotlight. I am your co-host Jay Crispy.
King Spinny right here. What up, y'all?
What up, what up, what up? We got our special guest tonight.
Fuck my bad. I'm looking at this.
I know. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll edit that part
It's
out.
loose.
Is
Okay.
it?
Yes, we do. We got a special guest. Our custom. We got Edgar Gonzalez. We got Rachel Gonzalez. Thank you for being here today.
What's up? Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Honor's ours.
Man, I'm excited. I mean, I know we were talking about this earlier, and Edgar, you reached out. You're like, hey, I'm excited for today.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you have no idea. Big fans. Definitely been, you guys have been supportive of both of us this entire journey. So, and feeling is mutual. Obviously, we're always cheering with you guys on in the background, you know, so for sure.
No, man,
Thank you for...
I've known y'all for a good while now. When we first got into the pops, you were one of the first ones.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
4 years ago, you were the first one. The first pop swap I ever gone to that we went to was yours when you were doing them over at the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to do a
First
show.
one I
Nostalgia.
ever went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, at Cowtown this weekend, a guy came up to me. He's like, I know you. He's like, I remember you. I'm like, he's like, do you remember me? I'm like, kinda. He's like, no. He's like, I remember because you had a skeleton on your back. And that was at your show.
Yeah.
Because you and Hyman put like a skeleton.
Oh,
it was
I
a
remember
Halloween
your
show.
chair, and it would like shake
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
be rolling around.
I was
with
like,
it.
dude, that
remember.
was so long ago.
That was a long time. This
Yeah.
is what, 5-6 years on that one.
No, it's like 3 because it was like right at the end of right before COVID, kind
Oh,
of.
I'm thinking about Awesome Toy Show, James.
Oh, you
Didn't
know.
you have something like that at his show once?
I might have,
I
but
think you did, but
yeah.
it wasn't the skeleton.
No, it was
another
something else.
prop, Yeah.
It was something else you had too. You put on the back of my chair. But yeah, so that was
I remember it though now. that you
super
say this.
nostalgic.
Yeah, that's why I met both of you. You were the first one I met me there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember because I had commissioned the. Yeah, that was the first time we had talked because I commissioned the J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. The metal.
Sign. I
Yeah.
had gone there to stake some signs to Sean
Mhm.
and David,
Mhm.
and they literally bought probably 20 metal prints off of me.
Yeah.
That was a long time
So
ago.
that was the first
Man,
time.
I remember you guys dragging hauling those things. Those things are massive.
Hell yeah.
Over the years, obviously, I've done deals with them too to get some, and I'm like, dude, these things are heavy. How do you do
You
it?
hear the metal
Now,
clank?
Yeah.
They don't. We changed from now the company work were split.
Yeah.
Now they're aluminum, so they're
Oh,
weigh nothing.
nothing
Like,
compared
to- Yeah.
like they weigh nothing.
the OGs were like,
Oh yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Whenever
Yeah.
we were hiring, like you have to be able to carry like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Those suckers are heavy.
yeah, just one stack was like 50 pounds. It felt like, yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
put on.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy. So.
Yeah, so it's been a while. It's been.
Heck yeah. So let's get into what y'all do. For the people who don't know who y'all are,
Yeah.
you know, we do have some people that, you know, we're trying to branch out. And so
Yeah.
go and tell them what you do. Show them your work. Shout out to them. They brought us some cups.
Yes.
Get the
Yeah,
close-ups
so-
on there.
Vendor Spotlight, and then it's got our logos. And I do have something in this cup right now that I'm sipping on.
Same.
Full disclosure, success, the good, the bad. Yeah.
But yeah, we when we first started, we got into this just Funko Pops. But it's what we do now is we do most of our basic work, or what we do most of is custom pop shields.
Mhm.
We do custom stacks like this. If you wanna close it back. But
There you
we
go.
laser engrave $7 a pop armors. Every once in a while we'll do custom boxes for pops that don't have pop armors, but mostly it's just regular 4-inch or 2-packs. But yeah, we do laser engraving on those. But we also do anything you can put in my machine or anything sublimated like metal prints or now aluminum prints. We do that as well.
Nice.
And that's one of your early
Yeah,
ones, right?
yeah. This is
Big
probably
difference.
I want to say 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And these, I used to do the regular Funko Pop boxes, and I would engrave these with the Dremel.
Damn.
Rachel would, she would do the vinyl, I would do the design,
Mhm.
and she'll make a vinyl masking. I'd put the vinyl on it, and then mask where everything was going to get marked, and then we'd spend like an hour peeling everything off, getting it all
I
off.
have carpal
So,
tunnel from
yeah.
it.
It's one of the very
Really?
original ones, very basic design. Even though it's basic, back then it used to take me about, I don't know, 3.5 to 4 hours to
yeah.
do like half of it.
Damn.
So it would take me probably a full day just to do one.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And how many are you knocking out a day now?
Now,
Yeah.
on a busy day, about, if I were to stay there from 8 in the morning when we come in until I feel like it was time to go home,
Yeah.
probably till like 11 p.m. and I'd knock out maybe anywhere between 45 to 50. On a
Wow.
busy week, on a busy
That
day.
turnaround time is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, because like I said, we've grown since then, but we supply Zobie, which is an autograph memorabilia company, but they also do autograph Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And with that, they'll want their custom cases for those. So we supply them wholesale of their custom stacks, and then we also supply $7 a pop at least once a month.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
And when they order, I mean, like, see, Zobie on a constant, they at least send us at least 2 to 3 every day.
Mhm.
But there's days that we'll have an order of like 15, 20 of them in one day.
Yeah.
So that, plus our website, plus our Etsy, and then if $7 a pop is an order, they usually order about anywhere between 75 to 120. Every
Wow,
order.
that's insane. From
Yeah.
what you first started
Yeah.
to
yeah.
The growth
Yeah.
is huge.
Oh yeah, when we first started, it was crazy because I mean, I remember the first anything custom ever did was a Pennywise, and I had put a metal sign on the back of it, and then I had just used vinyl red balloon sticker on it.
Yeah.
I still have it on my Instagram. It was the very first post I ever put on our business Instagram. But it just looked like a vinyl sticker with the metal sign on the back, and that's it, the Pennywise. And a little LED light inside that made it glow.
Yeah.
I was down in Houston for a Collecticon, and obviously, you know, like people always try to come and trade us or sell us their collections, right? Since we're other vendors. And I still remember this one guy. He goes, "Yeah, it's got a custom E&R stack." And I was like, "Oh, I know that guy. That's one of my buddies." And he's like, "What, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's based out of Dallas area, you know. And he's like, "Oh man, yeah, they do great work." And he was just asking me how I knew you guys and stuff, and I told him, and he was like, "Whoa, that's really cool."
Hmm.
Hey, it's great. We get that all the time.
Yeah.
I literally just this morning, I got a message from a guy, last night,
Yeah.
like around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and some guy messaged me, "Hey," because I had posted about the release, the limited piece release we did today, and I posted a teaser, and he was like, "Hey, are you the guy that makes custom stacks?" Like, well, there's a couple different people that do them, but we're, usually if it's in the West Dallas group or in Crazy Local Toys or in
Yeah.
Spinners group, they're the ones that more local will know who we are. But he's like, this one sent me a picture, and it's a picture that I did. I sold it at Papapalooza.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And it was the Ghost Rider case.
Oh, I know which one.
yeah.
That
It
was
just-
nice.
It was just
That
a
was
Ghost Rider.
yeah.
Well, I had sold it to Looney, and Looney had sold it to, I guess, someone. I don't know if he sold it directly to Sean or he sold it to someone that sold it to Sean.
Yeah.
But they somehow One England Comics got it.
Yeah.
And this guy bought it from them.
Wow, that's
Damn.
Yeah,
awesome.
and he's like, "So you did this one?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh yeah, I definitely want to get some more work done with these." He's like,
Yeah.
can I go drop you off some pop shields right now? And I was like, I usually don't take in other people's pop shields because I'm scared that they mail me something and it comes in with scratches and then I mail it back.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it's
Oh,
damaged."
it was damaged. Yeah.
So I usually don't do it. He's like, "But I mean, I already have scratches, so you can take pictures beforehand." I was like, "You know what? It's fine. Like, just bring me the 2 stacks,
Yeah.
and I'll charge you just for the work."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I literally, he brought him like 8 in the morning, stopped by the shop, dropped him off.
Wow.
8:30, and then I get called from, oh no, it's like 9 o'clock, I want to say, and my boss calls me, she's like, "Rachel, there's someone here for you." I'm like, okay, like I'm expecting my dad to
Yeah.
come in, and then I walk to the front, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to give these to Edgar. Edgar already knows about him." I was like,
It's crazy. It got to the point where more people come to my job
Yeah.
for us than more than they stop for the actual company.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it just gets crazy. Because like I said, we're based in Arlington, but
Yeah.
I literally have one little office where I have my laser and we have
Yeah.
everything that we work from that office.
I've
So,
seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's inside of our business because we work for a company that does metal decor signs.
Yeah.
So they let us have our laser there, and we just run our laser while we're working there.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
they-
dope.
Like I said, I've been working for them for 7 years now.
"You've been working longer."
Yeah,
No,
about
8.
Eight years I've been working
Yeah.
for them, and Rachel's been working there.
Like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're so cool. The bosses there, they let me have the laser there without a problem and everything, and they
They're
let
like
me.
family. pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. So
They're
we run
like
our business
second
out of their
parents.
business. So.
That's so cool. I was just about to ask if there's ever like a conflict because of
No,
so much business y'all get.
we I don't. We used to do a lot of metal signs, but I
Yeah.
don't do as much anymore. Like,
I noticed that you have
Yeah,
slowed down on those.
I'll do them if it's a past customer. Like I'll still get those customers. "Hey, can you do a metal sign of this family photo or
Yeah.
a metal print of this design?" And I'll do them, but I don't really advertise much anymore.
I will say this. Everybody always asks me when I have the big circles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I pull those out, everybody asks me, "Hey, where did you get those?" Right off the bat.
Those do
Yeah.
sell. The chases, the
Yeah.
gold chases, people's logos. They do ask
Yeah.
for those round ones.
I don't have my logo on 2 of them. I had a smaller one too, the medium size.
Yeah.
I gave that one to Jaime. I don't know if he still has it, but I still got the 2 big ones.
Yeah, they'll sell a lot. A lot of people like
Maybe there's
those.
one as well.
By the way, I've been inside that office he speaks of, and dude, he's got some cool stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think you've been.
No, that one?
lately.
Oh, not lately, but I was the last time I went over there to drop off something or to pick up something. I can't
Was it
remember.
Last year?
Yeah, at the new one where you have all your memorabilia stuff in there.
Okay,
Yeah. And then he's got like 5 PS5s. Or
Oh my
something
God.
like that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
We got rid of
The
some.
light
I was like,
flicks.
bro, I think I saw a PS5 in every corner of that office.
Don't put it
Sometimes it's
in
easier
there.
to just play over here than having to go over there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I do. We spend a lot of. We call that our first home besides our actual home because of the fact that we're there more.
So
than
much
our
time
own
there.
house.
We
Yeah,
just
but,
go home
like,
to sleep.
now you gotta think about my business. Our business is located out of our office in that shop, but we also work there. So we work there from. We clock in at 8:30 in the morning, and we clock out at 4:30,
Yeah.
and sometimes later if we have big orders. But I'm there. We're there. We get there at 8:15, 8:30. Sometimes a little later if we wake up late. But we're there from that time, and going home early for us is like going home like at 8, 9 o'clock.
Damn.
There's times that we'll like, especially like on a Friday or a Saturday before a show, like
Yeah.
a Sunday show or a Saturday club
Yeah.
stop or something like that. We're there till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I know for the week of Swapapalooza, they were posting.
You were out there, yeah.
You guys are posting like pretty much every other day. And I remember one post like, "Oh, I headed home. It was late, man." I was like, but he had product. He showed pictures of what he was bringing out,
Yeah.
and I was like,
that was
"Holy
my
crap!"
life. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy
And
crap!"
that
I was like,
I think we left that night at like 2:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
we're back there at 6 a.m.
I do. I saw you post. That's crazy.
"Yeah, that was leading up to the event." And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the event was outdoors. It was a brutal weekend for us.
God, it was exhausting.
And then just running on little sleep and setting up outside. It was
We had fun,
very
though.
challenging.
Yeah, we had fun. It was
Yeah.
good. One of the best shows we've been in for a good while.
Yeah.
Oh,
I enjoyed
we
it.
appreciate
I was going to
that.
ask you that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we've talked about this before, but just if you guys want to share your experience on Swapapalooza, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It was fun. We
Yeah.
got there and I really didn't know how it was going to be because the fact that it was like a restaurant type thing.
Yeah.
But, when we got there, it looked pretty awesome out the outside.
Yeah.
Just the energy of how it was, and it looked a good chill spot. And
Yeah.
the
The food
kids,
was
the
good.
food was good.
Yeah.
The drinks were good. The kids loved it. Isaiah and Bella.
That's good.
The one thing is, I always tell people, I come to these meets and we sell a lot of stuff, but I rarely ever make good money.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because someone likes to spend it.
Oh.
Oh.
As soon as we make that money, it's
Yeah.
pretty, at least half of it's usually
Yeah.
gone by the end of the night because of Rachel wants to buy stuff or the
Yeah.
kids.
It's your kids that spend
Yeah.
more money than me. I just spend money on food.
I will say this though. I've always told Edgar this, and I was like, "Man, your prices already they're already good." But
Yeah.
then I know he does specials for events for the locals
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, because
And-
usually at our website we sell regular pop shields, designs that are already made, they're already on there. We sell them for $40. Custom is $45, and then anything bigger than that, we charge anywhere between $60 to $70, especially if they want it a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Because I usually, if someone orders something on me and it's a regular $45 case with their design, I will put that design back on the website and offer it for $40 because I don't have to do any work. I don't have to
Right.
redesign anything. It just goes right back on the machine and made. But then there's people who are like, oh, well, I don't even want to sell my design. I was like, well, then in that case, I'm going to charge you an extra $15, $20 because
Yeah.
Now you
I
can no
won't be
longer
able
make
to use
money
it
off
anymore.
it. Yeah.
At least you'll have the only one. And I'll even mark it like these are marked 1 of 5 on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because I'm only making 5
Well,
of these and
that's
never
that's
use them again.
fair in itself. I feel like.
So, but
I'm sure
yeah,
people
pricing.
request that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
And because I know other people, I've known other people who started, because when we first started doing it, when I was doing it by hand, there was only one other company that I know of that was doing them. And I think they weren't very popular. A lot of people were buying them. You didn't really see them around at all.
Yeah.
I started doing them like this, and it started picking up pretty quick. I started having 3 cases in 1 week, and then it started getting bigger and bigger. And I had to switch from doing them by hand because after 3 hours, my hand would cramp up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was using the Dremel, and my hand would start cramping up pretty bad, and so then from there I switched off to sandblasting, which is a little easier. I mean, easier on the hand, but it still take time because the fact that you still have to do the stencil, sandblast, and make sure you sandblast it evenly, and then take it all off. But you had to make sure you clean it up real good because even that sand scratches up the actual case, it'll look all scratched up. But it's after that happened, we started getting more and more orders, and I couldn't keep up. It went to doing 15 cases, and it would take me, 2.5 weeks to get them all done.
And that's when Zobie came around too.
Oh yeah,
JR.
Zobie.
How did that start?
That started because of the metal signs. I started buying them because I saw them off of someone was buying their mystery box, their anime mystery box, and I thought, oh, that was pretty cool. And I've always liked autograph stuff. So I looked up their site, and then I followed their page, and then one day he had posted something about the guy who was supposed to make one of the props or one of the items for the mystery box fell through. And they couldn't come up with the product. So, and he had to have something done by the end of the week and ship out in those boxes because that people had already pre-ordered. So it was like 450 boxes. And I was like, hey, I do custom silver-made items. At that time, I wasn't doing these like a lot, but I was doing metal prints and keychains and bottle openers. And I was like, hey, well, I do this silver-made stuff. I was like, you interested in any of this kind of stuff? He was like, how much are those metal signs? And I was like, depending on the size. And he goes, well, can you crank out 450 within the next day and a half? And I was like, yeah. I didn't want to tell him no.
But yeah.
I was like, yeah. So, and at the time, my bosses are so cool with me that they don't mind that we stay there late. Yeah. They don't mind that we close, we're there all night. And as long as, we pay for the material we use and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But he was like, I need them by tomorrow night. And at that time, they weren't in Houston yet. Where did was it McKinney?
I don't know if it was that or the other.
About an hour and a half away from Arlington.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I can get them done. But I don't know if I'll be able to go drive them out to you. He's like, no, I'll pick them up. Just if you can get them done. I was like, all right. So we decided doing these little 4x6 metal prints of it was some horror, because he was doing a horror box that month. He was like, if you can give me 450, this would be awesome. I was like, and I'll go and pick them up, and I'll even pay you extra for getting them done, rushing them. Yeah. So he sent me the artwork the next morning, and I think we printed all that in the same night. He came and picked them up the next day. And he came by and picked him up, and he came into the office and was like, oh, so what all you do here? And I was showing him around, and on my wall, I had a metal print of a Breaking Bad design I did of Gustavo. And that, I think it was around the same time Fan Expo was coming, so I was going to actually go to Fan Expo and get it signed. And then he also saw one of my custom cases, and he was like, oh, where do you get this from? And I was like, oh, well, I make them. He was like, how do you make these? I was like, with the Sandblasting. He's like, damn. I was like, can you think, how many can you do those in a week? And I'm like, it usually takes me about 2 days to do one. He's like, oh, okay, so there's no way you can produce at least 100 to 150 a week. I was like, no. Yeah. He was like, damn. I was like, man, if you ever figure that out, let me know. I mean, I'd be interested in doing these for my Funko Pops. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, to do that, I would need to, I would have to quit my job and do this full time to be able to pick out that many. Yeah. I'd be working from 8 in the morning till the next day and then nonstop. Yeah. And he's like, well, figure out a way to get them done quicker and be able to crank them out faster. And once you figure that out, contact me and we'll do some business. Like, I promise you we'll do business if you can figure that out. Like, all right, cool. So for like the next couple of months, I started just still do. He liked the metal prints, so he's like, I'm gonna keep ordering from you. Yeah. So every month he would order 450 signs every month. So it was a for sure thing. Every month we'd get 450 order from him, and we supplied his mystery boxes for like a year until. Yeah, for about a full year. And it wasn't until me and Rachel were like, man, we got to figure something way out to crank these out faster. And I started looking up methods of doing it, and I remember at one time I ordered
He ordered one from China.
Yeah, like on Amazon. I ordered a laser engraver that cost me like $150. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do it with this. This is going to be badass. So it got there. It came in pieces. I tried to put it together. And I got it together finally, and I turned it on. That thing would not crank, bro.
I was like, "What you ordered this on Wish?"
Wish, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it wouldn't. I couldn't get it to turn on. Like it wouldn't turn on. It wasn't working. So I would turn that shit up real quick. I should send this shit back to Amazon.
We made fun of him. So
and then my boss was casing on me. He's like, "How would you order something like that?" I don't know. I'm just trying to start something. So then. From there, I just started Googling up more stuff, and the only quickest way of doing it was I saw people laser engraving. Yeah. And I looked it up to see if I could do it on acrylic, and the thing is, like, this isn't regular acrylic. Like, this is extruded acrylic. This isn't even acrylic either. This is plastic.
That's
yeah.
So this is plastic. Then the like regular sheets of acrylic is called not extruded, but cast acrylic is regular. You go buy acrylic from Hobby Lobby or Home Depot. It's cast acrylic. It's a whole lot of different settings and stuff. You can't buy even if you buy a $400 laser, it's not going to engrave on this, or it's not going to engrave on regular acrylic. I mean, it'll engrave on regular acrylic, but it won't engrave on this. Okay. So I found a company that was here local, and they're like a big business called Trotec, and I went up there, and they let us, you can come check out the show the showroom, we'll show you the different lasers. and like bring us what you're wanting it for, and we'll test one out for you. Just send us a design, and we'll get it done for you. So I sent them a Funko Pop case, and they did it, and it came out dope. I was like, oh yeah, I want one of these.
Yeah.
So I could get to the show, and he did it literally, like he did a whole front and then engraved the front and the side of it, and like it literally took like 3 minutes.
Damn.
And I was like, damn, that's
Game
great.
changer.
I was like,
Game
Yeah,
changer.
you need that.
We
And,
went in there and my eyes were like,
bro, like they have laser engravers, like smaller ones,
Yeah.
they have bigger ones, just depending on what you want it
they
for.
had this
And they have one like the size of this room, like
Wow.
a huge one that they do like big old outside signs for. So I was like, well, how much is this gonna cost me? He's like, this one's pretty good, fair price. And I was like, well, how much is that? He's like, well, you'll need this, and you'll need the exhaust system to go with this that way, because if you're gonna be doing it inside a building, you don't want all the fumes and stuff to get to you. Some of them can be kind of deadly
Yeah.
if you inhale too much of them. So I was like, all right, well, how much is that? I was like, well, out the door ticket is probably about 38,000, 39,000. Like what?
Yeah.
Like I was like, damn. And I
Yeah.
was like, and back then, and me growing up, my parents always told me, don't get credit cards, don't get loans, because you're gonna be in debt.
Yeah.
So my credit,
Yeah.
at that time, my credit was nothing. I had no credit. Like you look at my credit, it's zero. Like it's nothing. So they wouldn't give us a loan for it and everything. So I talked to my dad, and my dad was like, I told my dad, hey, help me get this loan. Like I'll pay for it and everything, but just help me co-sign for me, so that way they'll give it to me. So my dad ended up co-signing for me and took the laser out.
no, he didn't co-sign. He gave you a CD.
Well, he's still under his name. Like he had a
Yeah.
co-sign for me. So it was a CDL. I mean, that's a CDL.
CDL. We ain't doing no
That's-
truck.
It was a CD loan and
Engraving box trucks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he put the money, he put his own money up front, just in case I fell through and I wasn't able to pay it off. So I mean, I'm still paying for it, but their money's collateral. But he put it up, and we ordered it, and I was like, all right, cool. So do I know which one? Do I get to pick which one? Like, no, they gotta make it, and then you get a ship to you, so you won't get it in another couple months.
Oh, wow.
Oh
I was
my
like,
god.
damn. So I was like, okay. So we did the order, the paperwork, and it took a while, and then once it got finalized, it's like, all right, it'll be to you here by October, or like beginning of October. So then the next couple of weeks, I kept doing them this way. I was so bummed. Like
Yeah.
the whole 2 months before we got it, I was still doing them with the sandblasting. I was so
I
upset.
hate this shit.
Yeah, I was so mad. But the October came, and they ended up delivering our laser to the door in a big old 18-wheel truck. The thing's, I mean, it's decent size. It's pretty
Yeah.
big and it's heavy. And they delivered it, and as soon as they delivered it, it came in damaged.
Oh,
the
no.
The crate was busted open, and like part of the exhaust was hanging down. I was like, man, so what else could have happened? It's like, all right, we're gonna send a guy out there, and by the time they sent us a guy, another like a week and a half passed. So they finally got it fixed and everything, and then I hit up Zobie. It's like, hey, JR, because that's the owner's name is JR. And at that time they moved to Houston area, so they weren't even local anymore. So it's like, all right, well let's talk about how much you want to charge, how much it costs, and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, as soon as you do your first couple of months, find out how long it takes, and that way we can know how much the cost is going to be. So all right, the laser gets to the guy, fixes it, and literally the week that the guy fixes it, that next weekend was Rachel's birthday, and it was also my nephew's birthday. So we had a cookout, a party for them, and everything. And back then, I used to drink a lot. I go a lot. Like I would get shit faced with my brothers and stuff. And that weekend, we drank a little too much. Probably down like 3 bottles of tequila. Me, my brothers, and my cousin.
Shit.
And at the end of the night, they were leaving, and I ended up going to go use the restroom, and it was pitch dark in the backyard, and I trip over my basketball goal in the back. Trip over the basketball goal, hit my knee on the side of the concrete, and I dislocate my knee. Dislocate my knee, and I tear 3 ligaments in the back of my knee, and I pinched an artery. So I go to the hospital, and then JR hits me up that 2 days after I was in the hospital. He sends me an email or message, and I read it, and I was like, dude, I kind of, some accident happened, and I won't be able to do anything with the laser. So think about it. You're all hyped about doing this business, and you buy opportunity to make some business with this guy, and then that happens. I was so pissed, dude. Like I was so mad, and JR is like, well, dude, just worry about your health, get all that taken care of, and once you're ready, the deal's still there. But like, don't even worry about it. Like your job's still there, and if we got to put a hole in the metal prints, we'll put a stop to it until you're ready. I was like, no, we're still doing Rachel. So Rachel, for like 2 months, 3 months I was in the hospital, she was still doing it for him.
Yeah.
So spent the 3 months in there. As soon as I was out of the hospital, I spent a month there, and they did surgery, and they put a fixture on my leg. They put a rod from my knee to my ankle. It was like, I think it was like how many bolts? 4? 3?
4, I think.
It was
I think there was 2 in
There's
the
2, 4,
bottom.
6. So it was like 6 of them.
To hold it
And-
all together.
Yeah, to hold my knee
Yeah.
in place for it to heal. So you
Yeah.
gotta have it in there. And I spent in the hospital for that. And then as soon as that happened, 2 days after my surgery and they put that fixture on me, they wanted me to get into a wheelchair and that way I can go home. So they're trying to get me out of the hospital because back then I didn't have health insurance.
Yeah.
So everything,
Oh, shit.
I
Yeah,
didn't have
they're-
health insurance. So they're like, no, you got to get out of here. So
Yeah.
you're not paying, so you got to get out of here. So like 2 days after the surgery, they tried to put me in a wheelchair and they had PT there to get me into the wheelchair and get me out of there so they can release me. But the second day of that, I started to lose feeling in my foot. Like I started to feel my toes and my ankle, my foot started going numb. I wasn't able to move it no more. And it started to turn like a bluish purple color. And they're like, oh, like you're losing circulation because of that pinched artery. So let's do a surgery to clear up whatever, because it caused a blood clot into my ankle. So they went to the hospital and then they said, all right, we'll do the surgery and they'll get you out of that. What's that?
What? Do you hear something? Is it one of our
it's not
phones?
talking.
Oh, no. Oh, no, because I heard it.
I was like, what?
There's
Bro, I'm like, yeah.
You don't hear that?
No, I heard him.
I was just like, just keep going. I was scared.
I'm into the story.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
I'm like, but I do hear somebody.
Let me check the door, just make sure nobody's out there.
What?
Is it your iPad?
Is it mine?
Bro, are you listening?
Might be mine. Something must have quit from my backpack.
Yeah, I'm like,
making
what?
us
I'm like,
No, but
I guess time out. We're still recording. Anyways, we'll clip that all
it is
out.
my iPad. I don't know why.
It's so funny because it's on the iPad right now. It says paranormal activity.
Oh,
Oh, hell no.
I know.
We ain't cutting that out, that's great.
I guess it's a good time to read on my drink.
Yeah, there you go. Here, turn it off.
I forgot I'm not supposed to be drinking. I have a tattoo in the morning.
But too late.
Yeah.
No, you can't have alcohol on your system.
YOLO.
Oh, they once, right?
There's gonna be a watery blood coming out tomorrow. Is the pina good?
I don't know how to turn this off.
The pineapple, is it good?
Yeah.
I'll try it. Let me grab one of those, bro.
I don't know.
I'm down a gallon of water tonight.
Alright.
Yeah.
And
Flush it out your system.
Yeah.
keeps me from getting a hangover.
All
Hangover? What's that?
right. Dude, that was like throwing me off. I was like, what?
I know.
I was like, randomly eating.
I was so into the story, but I was like,
He started looking deep into my eyes. I was like,
was
not
like,
me.
I was like,
there's a grown ass man speaking right now in the background somewhere.
I was like, what was that?
It's paranormal activity. Hell no.
Turn off. How do you turn off iPads?
I don't know.
Hold the power.
That was great.
No?
That's turning Siri on.
Oh, power and like down. Volume down.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
there it goes. Okay.
That's
So there it is.
So back to the story. My bad.
You're good.
No, but they did a second surgery, and they're like, okay, we're going to try to clear these clots. So they put me back in surgery, and after surgery came out, they're like, how's it feeling now? And I was like, well, I was able to move my toe a little bit, but it still felt numb. I still felt like, I literally felt like I was on fire. And like, it was in so much pain, bro. Like, they had to give me, I think the whole time I was there, I had to take Dilaudid, which is, it's a lot stronger than hydrocodone. It's a lot stronger than that. Dilaudid would knock, it's like basically horse tranquilizer is what it is. Like, it's that strong.
Yeah, he was.
But they had me on that nonstop, and any minute that it would start to go away, I would start feeling the pain even worse. Like, it literally felt like someone had a blowtorch to my foot.
Oh,
And,
God.
and after like 2 days after that, again, I lost feeling in my toes. And it started getting darker purple, darker blue. And they're like, oh, let's go in there and do this type of surgery. Let's try to see if we can get it cleared up and get feeling back in your, and circulation back in your foot. And they did another surgery. So this is the third surgery that they've done to try to get my feeling back in my toes and
Yeah, they
circulation.
wanted to take some, it was a artery from your thigh and put it, or it was some kind of like,
Basically some way to divert the flow and get it back to
Yeah.
my,
Move it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did
it
that.
was not successful.
After they did that, it didn't work. It didn't work
wasn't-
again. So
yeah.
like, oh, let me speak to some other surgeons and see if we can figure out what we want to do next. Take it there. It's already been a month and a half I was there, and 3 surgeries later, and
No,
they still
it
couldn't
was
fix
a
it.
month. You were, yeah, because it was not even a month, because your accident happened the 18th, and then they took your leg on the 31st.
Oh yeah, so it wasn't even so.
Wow.
Yeah, so
But imagine how long that felt. Like,
well, bro,
it felt like a month.
Well, that.
Yeah.
And all the pain meds they had me on, like the Dilaudid and stuff,
Yeah.
bro. Like I was literally sitting there thinking I was being abducted by aliens because they had me in a room, pitch dark at all times, and I all I saw was like just the light coming out from the crack of the door the whole time I was in there. And in that time it was like COVID. I mean, COVID had just started, so they wouldn't allow visitors or anything. Like they barely let her there before 7 p.m. or something like that. She wouldn't allowed to be there afterwards. So
8, 7, or 9.
every night I spent by myself, pitch dark, you know, all drugged up and stuff off the Dilaudid. But finally, they're like, "Oh, let's try this one more surgery." And finally, another surgeon came by, some Hispanic guy. He's the guy, the doctors that were helping me, but they were these white dudes. But the Hispanic comes in, he's like, "Dude," I'm telling you right now, they're not gonna say that. Like, I was like, "They're gonna put you through the surgery, and it's gonna fail." I was like, "If you want my opinion, just have them take it. You know, get amputated, because I'm telling you now, if they keep waiting and waiting, it's gonna get, you have to get amputated higher and higher." Because it was already like, first it started on my ankle, but then now like half my leg up to my femur and stuff was already turning blue and purple.
Yeah.
So I was losing feeling, and it was my leg was dying.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, just take it. I would take it now before it gets worse. Because if it gets all the way up higher, they're gonna have to pick more and more of your leg.
Mm-hmm.
So that he was arguing with the other doctors, and others, "No, I think this surgery will work." And I was like, "It's up to you. To tell him to take it, and I'll do the surgery myself."
Yeah, he called me because he was by himself, and he called me. He said, "What do you think I should do?" I was like, "Just tell him to take it, because you're in so much pain. Just tell him to take
so
it."
dude, I was literally in pain and crying almost every day from the pain, and it sucked. But he was like, "It's up to you. Either you can keep trying. Cost you, it's gonna put you in more and more debt, because every surgery was like $30,000.
Oh my God.
By the end of the month, by the time I got released, I owed like $100 and some grand, $200,000 to the hospital.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. But I finally told him, just take it. Yeah. Take my leg, and they're like, it gotten so bad, so they had to do it above the knee.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do that, it's a lot worse, because you can't get a lot of prosthetics, you know, good price prosthetics for below the knee. So they ended up having to take them all the way above the knee, and that way it's a lot more complications, a lot more. It takes longer to be able to get a prosthetic and get used to it. It takes a lot more PT. You have less leg and
You don't have that motion to bend
a
it,
lot less
to
motion
move
and
it.
stuff, to move it around and help you move around and stuff.
There was a lot of it was decayed, and they still kept some of that decayed skin. So they kept watching that, and like when they stretched it back, like every time we went to the doctors, it was like every week we went to the doctors.
Well, yeah. Well, even before them, after they took my leg, after so many surgeries, I had lost so much blood already, and I ended up to the point to where
You had to get
I
blood
had to get
transfusions.
how many transfusions? I think it was 2, right?
2, yeah.
2 transfusions, because I had lost so much blood, and my body was shutting down and stuff. So they did that. I stayed after my surgery. I stayed like another month in the hospital until my levels were good, and I was actually basically my health was at the point where they can let me release me. So. And also because of the fact that what she said, because they waited so long to do it, there was a lot of dead skin, and they needed that skin to close up the wound. And because of that dead skin, it was a 50% chance that
it would take,
it would heal, or if it didn't heal, they would have to cut more higher to good skin.
Yeah.
So that was a big fear that I would have to, because they sewed me up and everything and give me stitches, and they sent me home, and if that would have been bad, I have to go and they have to reopen it all over again. And that sucks. But I got sent home, and after I got sent home, the doctor's like, "Can I go back to work already?" Because I wanted to go to work. I'm the type of guy that I have to be doing something, dude. I have to be doing something, or else I would start
getting your head a little bit.
Man, I was already depressed, because after they took my leg, I still stayed in the hospital for a whole month. So imagine, you just got your leg cut off, you're there for a whole month, and I mean, your whole life changes. I mean, you've been in the wheelchair and stuff. I didn't know how it was going to be. Like, I didn't know, my whole life, I my job, I'm cutting wood, I work, pretty physical job I work. And also on the weekends, I have my parents with the rodeos and stuff. So, and I was going crazy in the hospital. I do what I'm going to do. Is like, I'm not going to be able to go back to work. I just take it. We just got this laser that we're paying $700 a month on, and it's just sitting there. I can't even use it yet. So, I'm the only one working. The good thing is our bosses, when that happened, and my boss was like, we're still paying you. My bosses paid me the whole time I was gone. The whole time I was gone, they're paying me my normal paychecks. They're paying Rachel. They're letting her leave and come to the hospital with me. They're still paying both of us.
I don't think I worked a full day for like months.
So that was a big help right there. Not only that, the Funko Pop community and stuff that we got into, they started, they do raffles and stuff and donate the money. Bless y'all.
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all helped with that, so that helped a lot. But
Yeah, because he was like, how did you even pay the bills? I was like, dude, I don't even know. I don't even know how I paid them. I just went day by day. Like, I don't even remember half of what happened during that time.
It's like not even in your head at that time.
yeah,
It's just like whatever's due is due down.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that kept me going crazy because after I got released, I still had to go home. And I asked the doctor, hey, can I go back to work? If I get in a wheelchair, and I can go back to work. He's like, dude, like you work a lot of sawdust and dirt and stuff. If anything that gets into your stitches and it gets infected, they're gonna open it back up. So then you gotta wait till it completely closes. It's like, wait, give me another 2 weeks and then you can go back to work. So for 2 weeks, another 2 weeks after leaving the hospital, I have to stay at home. Had nothing there. Rachel would be at work, kids would be at school. I was losing my mind, bro. I was like, dude, what am I gonna do here? So then the only thing that kept me sane was working on designs for Zobie because I had hit Zobie up. I was like, hey, I'm about to get out of the hospital. It'll be about another month before I can actually start working on the laser. And take it at that.
Your
I still.
PS5.
Oh yeah.
I remember you posted pictures of
that kept me busy. But
Assassin's Creed. Remember that?
Yep. But he's like, well, dude, it was like, I still don't know how long. It's gonna be like another month before I can even start messing with the laser. And not only that, it's gonna take me another, month and a half to figure out all the settings and the templates to be able to do multiple on one table and stuff. So he's like, just figure out the designs and we'll go from there. So the good thing is those 2 weeks I spent just making I think I made like 10 designs, 15
I was
designs.
working on the laser, but I was learning it,
Yeah,
so it took a little
Because
bit.
it's pretty complicated to figure out. You got to figure out the settings, the speed, the power, to engrave all different. Because different power and speed will engrave in different shades of it. But after I got done the designs, the doctor gave me the okay to go back to work. I went back to work, and I would work at my job. And then as soon as I clocked out, I'd be there working on with the laser and figuring it all out. I think it took me like 2 weeks to get it all notched down and figure it out. About 2 weeks I figured it out, and Zoe was like, all right, well, let's start cranking these out. We'll release them. I was like, do one of each design. And we'll take photos and we'll put some on the website and we'll see how it goes. If it goes good, it goes good, and if not, well, we'll try something else. So like, all right, cool.
And then he had a complication, so we had to take him back, and he had to have another surgery.
Oh yeah, because I started to have like a little hole coming out, like it wasn't healing, it wouldn't close all the way.
Oh.
So then I started having a lot of just fluid just coming out, blood and fluid. So they wouldn't close, so I had to get another surgery. So that backtracked me another they had to open up my leg, put a vacuum in, and close it back up. So I spent another 2 weeks at home. So
wow.
This is 4 months now, 4 months in, and paying for a laser, bills, and everything. Just being at home, not being able to use it. So I was pretty pissed. But and in that time, we had 2 other people making custom stacks.
Yeah.
Because there was this one dude who was doing them with vinyl, but he was doing it with vinyl that looked etched. So it wasn't really engraving, but he made it seem like it. Yeah. And the way he worded it on Facebook, he made it seem like it was engraved. He wouldn't put that it was vinyl. Yeah. He would just say. He would say custom stacks. He wouldn't put that they were engraved.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
I had a big problem with him because the fact that when I was in the hospital, like, oh, you can't do anything right now, but I would love to. My wife wants to make some for me for Father's Day, and she was wondering how you made them. And me, I'm all for helping people. So I was like, whatever. I'll show them. I'll tell them sandblasting is probably the easiest way to do it if you can't afford a big laser.
Yeah.
And they started cranking them out. And while I was in the hospital, that person was messaging the people that I used to make the stacks for and was telling them that they'll make it for a cheaper price.
Yeah, they were trying to take all of our customers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
it's so shitty.
Yeah.
Some people started going to them, but once they figured out that it was vinyl, they were like, "What the hell? These are just stickers. I could put some on."
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know that part of the story, but it doesn't surprise me.
The wife had contacted me behind, to tell me that she just wanted to do it for Father's Day. So I was like, I'm not the type of person who will like, no, I'm not gonna help you out because it's what I do. I don't want no one else doing it. Like, it's fine. I'll show you. So be nice about it. Yeah. And it wasn't until I started finding out that he was messaging the people that I was making customs for, saying that they'll do it at a better price and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I was pissed. And so then once that complication happened, I got back to work again, and Zobie released the first 10 designs. And that second day, literally as soon as that first day that they released, the next day he sent me all the labels to all the orders, and we had over 160 orders.
Oh, it was a lot.
Yeah,
we were packing
160 cases in one day, like they were ordered in one day. Yeah. And dude, it was like, holy shit, that is a lot of cases. Like, I'm so used to doing 15 in 2 weeks, and now I have to crank out 160, and yes, I have to get them shipped out by
We had the-
5 days. It has to be shipped out. So 160 in 5 days. You know, because the way we work it out is they supply me the cases, they supply the shipping, they pay for everything. They just pay me for the
material,
work.
everything. We just
So
put
they send me the labels,
labor.
they send me the pop shields, and I just basically just fulfill, and I sell to them wholesale.
Yeah.
So that happened, and dude, it was a hit. I mean, he
Yeah.
was getting, the first day was 160 orders, the next day was another 50 orders, and the next day was another 30 orders. So I was cranking out close to 300 custom pop shields every week and a half, 2 weeks. And I was like, holy shit.
I remember speaking with you like briefly about it. He's like, yeah, man, I got a deal going on with Zobie, and I was like,
I was
what?
hyped about
Great.
it.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like impressed, bro. I was like, wow. Because I again, going from this to this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
it
huge
wasn't like
change.
this at first. At
Yeah.
first, it was still stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Zobie's designs, they're not as complicated as these.
They're very
Zobie's
simple.
design are more stuff like this. And
Mhm.
some simple because the fact that they're autographs. So he didn't
Yeah.
want them too obscure.
Yeah,
He
you
didn't
want,
anything
don't
blocking
want to cover the
autograph.
autographs.
So all his stuff is basically autographs.
Mhm.
So he just wants a simple design on the sides and a simple theme that will go with all the pops of that theme. So like if it was Back to the Future, it would have a Back to the Future logo here.
Mhm.
It would have a picture like a stencil of Marty and Doc, and then another Back to the Future logo like saying or something here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that way you can go with any pop. You didn't want it too
Yeah,
specific.
yeah. That
Same
makes
thing with
sense.
horror.
We
Like,
did
yeah.
4
Yeah.
sides for a while, and then they decided they opt out with and the 4 sides and just started going with the 3 sides.
So yeah, for
So no
Zobie,
front?
yeah, no
Yeah.
front.
No
So
front.
always we just do the backs, I mean the sides and the back. And what's cool about Zobie is I don't have to worry about doing a design for every single person.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
would
like,
do one
boom.
design,
Put them all out.
and they would just sell
Reprint,
the same
reprint,
design. So I just
Yeah.
had drag and drop.
Yeah.
That makes it so easy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. But from there, Zobie started taking off, and from there, people who stuck with me whenever I was doing these
Yeah.
started ordering like, "Hey, are you back to doing stacks now?
Yeah.
Like now that you're out of the hospital and everything, are you good at doing work?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, start placing orders, and I'll get them done."
Yeah.
So I started doing more complicated designs, and it went from not only having to do Zobies, I started getting orders. I started my Instagram with the business, and then I started the Etsy, and the Etsy didn't take off too fast yet.
Yeah.
But I was getting orders on Instagram every day, and then I would do wafts.
The wafts. That's
The
right.
wafts,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah, that's where it
You
took-
win, you get a custom waft.
So
yeah.
once I got them done,
Yeah,
once I got it notched down, and I had it all figured out, I started doing wafts. And back then, I was wafting them for I think $7.10
Mm-hmm.
so $70 a game, and I would literally do 20 rounds in one night.
I remember.
God, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
So-
they will fill up fast.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
know
hot.
if you guys are keeping up with that because
Yeah.
it would be like I remember. I
Yeah,
remember.
so I would do 20 rounds in one night, and then it would take me about to design each one because the fact that every round was a different
A different
design.
design.
It was a custom.
So
right?
I would do
Yeah.
20 rounds one night, fulfill those 20 rounds. It would take me about a week to get all those 20 rounds done, and then the next week I'll do another 20 rounds.
Yeah.
So, and I think about that's $1,400 every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, every week and a half, $1,400, and I was cranking that at first.
Nice. Yeah.
Off of that, so I just did that. I had to work on them, and then once I'm done working on them, I'll do another 20 rounds, and the
Yeah.
same thing over and over again. And then once we started fulfilling that, every time I'd make a custom, I would post it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I would tag $7 a pop. I would tag them, and then
I remember this. I
yeah,
remember this.
I would tag $7 a pop.
Yeah.
Every post, every story I made, I'd tag them, and then the person who would receive it would tag me, and then also tag them. And it got to a point after like a month and a half of that, of just that, the I thought it was the owner of $7 a pop, but it's not. It's the person running their Instagram,
Mm.
because the owner's name is Lee, and the guy who runs their Instagram is Jason.
Mhm.
So Jason's like, hey, I was speaking to the owner, and he likes what you're doing. He likes your work. I mean, we appreciate that you're always tagging us and that you only use our cases. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, why am I gonna, go through making my cases? It'd be more time consuming. Why use something else whenever y'all's product is one of the best out there?
It's literally the
He's
perfect.
like, are you paying full price for
formula.
this? Yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, I paid full price. I was like,
Yeah.
let me give me your information. Let me send you an email so you can fill out, and we're gonna put you on our wholesale accounts. So that way you can buy wholesale off of us. So then we started buying wholesale off of them, and then literally, as soon as we would post one, they start sharing it on their Instagram. And then from there, I think within a month, we went from having like 200 followers to now we have 2,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
easy like
amazing.
that. And And from there, our name just started getting bigger, and then people on Instagram that were living in Germany, Singapore, all over the world were hitting us up. Y'all do international, and that's what Rachel's like, man. If we send one out here, have to pay for that shipping, then it gets damaged. I was like, it's gonna suck having to redo it or refund the person. But I was like, you know what, screw it, let's try it. So then we started doing it international, and now in the past, I think what's been 2 years now, right? This Monday will be 2 years since we got our laser. And in the 2 years, we've made...
No, we've already had our laser for 2 years.
No.
Yeah.
Because we got the laser in the accident. I didn't really start doing the customs with the laser until after my accident. So it's not even been 2 years yet that we've been doing it this way. And we've done over 800 customs already. Like I look, because I have a folder on my OneDrive that has all the designs. So on my designs, I have 700 there. But you got to think about it. A lot of those designs, at least 30 of those designs are Zobies. And if they've done on their website and they order, in between like 100 to 200 a month easily, I've probably done more than 1,500 cases already in the past 2 years.
Wow.
Because if I have 700 designs and at least 30 of those are Zobies, and Zobie's been doing it for almost 2 years now too, and they order the same design over and over again because they get new customers. They see the cases and then I got a new Freddy Krueger, so I'm gonna get it for this one, and then so they keep ordering the same design. So we've probably done close to 1,500 cases already.
We had enough money to even put it on a down deposit on a house, and we tried so hard.
Oh yeah.
I remember when you were doing that.
Yeah, we tried to get a house, and we had the money for a down, but as soon as we put a bid in for a house, someone would outbid it by like
the housing market was crazy at that time.
Yeah.
So then we gave up, and then we just blew the money.
Pretty much. No, but
5 PS5s.
Each corner on the roof.
But then that happened, and then, like I said, we started getting more and more following, and then finally the owner Lee Byers is the owner of $7 a Pop, and he emailed me. He said, "Hey, I really like your work. Jason's been telling about it. I'm taking a look at it, and I like it." I was like, what do you think about doing a collaboration where we post on our site? We'll give you full credit and everything, and just let us how much. And I was like, well, man, I'll do the same deal I do with y'all. I do with Zobie. Like, I'm not gonna overcharge y'all, because that's the thing with me. I don't like to overcharge people.
Yeah.
When I first got into this, I did it for the fun because I started liking collecting Funko Pops. My kid, Isaiah, liked collecting Funko Pops, and Bella did. And so I wasn't really... I'm not in it for the money, because honestly, I see other people who are charging $75 to $80 just for a case.
Yeah.
They're charging $70, and I'm like, damn. I was like, dude, that's overpricing it.
Yeah.
Like, and the most expensive I ever charge is $60. And even now, like today, we did a limited edition one, and we charged $64.99, but it included the case, a custom cup, a pen, and a coaster.
That's a crazy deal.
So I mean, so Lee was like, yeah, like what you're doing, and he's like, let's do a collab. I was like, just let me run it by Zobie, because $7 a pop supplies Zobie with their pop shields.
Yeah.
So let me run it by them, because you're doing it first with them. I don't want to step on your toes.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I totally agree with that, because I didn't want to mess up any work with Zobie.
Yeah.
So we've had other people. We've had other mom and pop shops and other people who have their own business, like do pops, and they want me to supply them pop shields. And I was like, dude, it was like I don't want to. I was like, if I start selling you them, and then Zobie sees it and they cut ties, it's like, dude, it's like they gave me the first chance. I was like, so I don't want to screw anything up with them.
You gotta show your loyalty to
Yeah.
the ones that had you.
So $7 a pop. Message Zobie and talked to JR, and JR was like, no, we're cool with it. We're cool with it. Just as long as we're not doing the same, same exact designs, everything's different designs.
Yeah, they have their own design.
So $7. All right, let's do it. So their first order was like 175 cases.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, I want 24 of this design, 24 of this design, 24 of this design, and then 50 of this one. And I need them all within what's the fastest you can get. It was like, well, when do you need them? I was like, I need them all by the end of the week. I was like, damn, okay. So I think that first week that we did $7 a pop, we did their 175, and then I think that week we did 140 for Zobie, because we had just released another 10 images with them. And then I still had my Instagram and my website, because I had started a website. Yeah. And so, I mean, like on the daily basis, we get anywhere between 5 to 20 orders on our website every 2 days, 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we stay busy. So like on a slow week, we crank out 50 to 100 a week. On a busy week, we'll hit 250, 300. And then if it's the same week that Zobie releases new designs and $7 for puts order, we'll do close to 400 that one.
Wow.
Oh, dude, that's
But
insane.
the thing is, with Zobie and $7 a pop, I do wholesale.
Yeah.
So I don't charge them the full.
Yeah.
Like on my website, $45 or $40 for one that's already designed. With them, I charge them wholesale, so I charge them $15 a case.
Yeah.
But they supply shipping some material. They'll have you line deliver all their packing supplies.
Yeah.
So I have a shelf with all their stuff, and then I have a shelf for Zobie's blank cases, and I have a shelf for $7 pops cases. So I charge them wholesale, and they send me the labels, and I just ship them from there. I do drop ships basically for them.
Yeah.
But man, it adds up though. You think
Yeah.
about, 400
Oh
$15
yeah,
a
dude,
piece.
that's
Sure.
insane.
And all you gotta do is just once you have the design ready, all you do is
Just
just
scan it.
drag and drop, hit
Yeah.
start. I'll go and work at my job.
That's
and
what's so
then
good.
as
It's
soon as I
like
hear that beep, I
Yeah.
just go turn it, hit start again.
you eliminated almost all manual labor
Oh yeah.
for it. You know,
Yeah.
going
so-
from blasting in the
Oh,
case
yeah.
to engraving
It's,
to
Yeah.
that is just
It would take like hours because then I would have to mask the whole thing.
yeah.
And it was just insane. I'm like, dude, I can't.
And
Yeah,
then, like
figure it
back
out.
then, like I said, it's just plain designs like this. If you look at it from what
Because my
this
Cricut
is,
couldn't cut out
to stuff like that.
detailed stuff. It
Yeah.
would like mess it up. So then
like if I were to do this the way I used to do it,
Yeah.
just this, it would probably take me 3 hours just to do that one side.
No.
For the fact that I have to sandblast and then go in every little thing and take off the and carefully, because if you scratch it with the
Mhm.
damn tool,
You can tell, you can
that's
see
what
it,
you're
man.
doing.
Yeah.
So it took a while, but I mean now, like I said, we supply all them.
And even outside of this, like I know everybody. Well, we know, but not everybody at home knows. But he does custom displays. He does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Those big
this,
displays are
They're
sick.
fire.
this is what started us, and
Yeah.
then from there we started going because we used to do the metal prints and we used to do custom shirts.
Mhm.
Oh
And I
yeah.
used to do the whole full body art on the shirts, like I do anime.
But we stopped after you.
Yeah, after my accent.
I've been lucky to be on the shirt.
Yeah, you did. Get
Then
the
you
shirt.
charged me for it.
You got a shirt. Yeah, you did. I remember that.
Yeah.
But we stopped because
I just
since
couldn't
he's
do
so
them.
tall, he would be able to do them.
Yeah.
I'm short. I can't do those shirts.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sorry, you're gonna
Not
have
only
to
that,
do
it
those
wasn't
shirts.
just
Yeah.
it was too much time consuming to make sure the art fitted the shirt perfectly and then it fit correctly and then it pressed correctly. Is just
That's a lot of work.
it is,
Yeah.
and it got
It
to the
wasn't
point to
worth
where we
it.
had so many orders that it to me is you gotta work smarter, not hard. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
you got to once you
Which-
start getting the clientele and stuff, it's
Perfect
Yeah.
example. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
know.
Like I always tell people, man, because people are like, man, it's to take off, man. You make easy money. I was like, no, it ain't easy, man. Like,
Definitely not.
even though I got the laser, I still got to design on this.
Yeah,
And,
it's
you
still.
know, You know, compared to back then, only having to do 15 a week to now we're doing 100, 150, 200 a week.
Yeah.
And a lot of like at least 50% of that is new designs.
Yeah.
So like I said, I usually a normal day for us is work at 8 a.m. We leave the shop around 11 or on early days. We'll go home and then from 11 to like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm working on designs.
Yeah.
So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I go to bed
Mhm.
and I wake up 2 hours later to get ready for work. Go to work, and all the designs that I did over the night, I
Yeah.
go and put them on the machine so
Yeah.
that they get made. And then the next day, all over again, make new designs for the new stacks. So.
So like for
Non-stop.
today, this is nice and relaxing for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A night off almost.
Well, I still got some designs to do,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but it's nice to get away from it because, like I said, when people say it's true, when people say more money, more problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is like the more work you get, it's crazy. And what people don't get is, I have people that will message me like, "Hey man, you got the designs ready?" And they just put the order in yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm like, you gotta. That's why it says 5 to 7 days before I even contact you because of the fact that I have so many orders. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't just. This isn't my day job. Like this is my business, but
Yeah.
I also have a job that I work
Yeah.
9 to 5. I was like, I don't usually start working on designs till I get home, and that's 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And even then, as soon as you order, I go in by the order they come in.
Yeah.
So if you ordered, one yesterday and already had 6 orders, 7 orders, I'm not gonna get to your stack till probably the end of the weekend. But I get people who message me all the time. Oh, you think you have the design ready? Is the design ready? And I'm like, no. I was like, I will message you whenever I start
Yeah.
working on your order.
And how is that like? I'm sure local people are like that, right? Like the locals, or are they
Not-
ever push you? Or,
Not really,
no?
because everybody local has
Yeah.
been there since the beginning.
Oh, okay.
They know.
So
They know.
They know
Okay.
the process. And then everybody local has gone to go pick up at my job, and once they figure out that this isn't my actual job, 'cause
Yeah.
a lot of people think this is my full-time
What
job.
you do,
like, this is
yeah.
all I do.
Yeah.
That's not true, man. It's like you gotta think about it. It's like this is our business, but also I work a 9-to-5 job, and also do stuff outside of this. And not only that, I have a family. I have 2 kids, and I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. Spinners knows, if you get a full day of rolling around, your arms.
Oh, I've been with them some days.
A full day rolling around, gripping your wheels, like especially me because I have to go back and forth at work all day.
Well, I noticed you had gloves on too.
Oh yeah, because if not, like my hands are barely starting to heal. Because for a while I didn't wear gloves.
Okay.
Until I started getting real bad calluses and my hands would start hurting and stuff. So, so like after 8-9 hours in a chair, sometimes longer, your back starts to hurt and
the butt starts to hurt.
Yeah.
You kind of start to feel heavy.
Yeah.
Your body. It's
your back, your shoulders.
Because he's in that.
So wearing out like crazy. Because like I said, I'm in my wheelchair. On an okay day, 10 hours, 11 hours. On a day that I'm working there all day, I'm in a wheelchair 14, 15 hours a day.
That's about how much I am too.
So it fits a toll on your after like midweek. Your shoulders, your hands, like by Friday, come Friday, my shoulders are shot, my hands are shot, my wrist, my hands, everything's cramping up.
I sometimes I get like sharp pains just in my shoulder. It's like doing something simple like grabbing a cup, like sharp pain.
Yeah.
It's like where'd it come from? It's just from this,
So you got to think about 2 years. It's only about to be 2 years since this. So for 2 years, I've had to do that, my job, and still work my job, and then still do these all night. And it sucks, but people don't see that. They think I'm just at home.
No, bro.
And then we have like our other side projects. Like he comes up with like these random things, and I'm like, dude,
like the display cases.
I love them.
Just tell me, and then I'll go get whatever you need, and then we'll figure it out.
Rachel makes a lot of trips down.
It makes it easy to have somebody
that was
so
a hit, by the way. I know you debuted them at Swapapalooza.
People were like,
people are still talking about those.
Yeah.
Displays, they're fire.
And now he was just like thinking about it, and I was like, okay, just tell me what I'm gonna do, because like I do like mostly the printing and when it comes down to sublimation stuff, I press them.
I do the designing, and I'll make the cases at the shop.
And
but
I
hate. I'll communicate with the people who know me on Facebook and like that's the one thing I hate doing business over Facebook, bro. Because they see that you're online on Messenger and then they'll message you.
Turn that shit off.
I need to, but
you can turn it off. But make sure you turn it off Facebook too, because Facebook will snitch you out.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's because you'll be off on Messenger, but Facebook will be like, he's active.
I need to do that because I feel like people do that to me too.
I do that to Jay sometimes.
I used to text Edgar. He'd be like, sorry, don't text me during business hours. only during business hours. I'm like, bro, I just want to know how you're doing. My bad.
It's because I have my camper on airplane mode because I use my iPad for
so it's hard to ignore people on purpose.
Yeah. And people get upset, dude. I had this one customer get mad at me, and they're like, dude, I ordered this 2 days ago, and this and this and that, and I just need communication. I was like, bro, you gotta understand, this isn't my life business. I mean, it's my business, but it ain't a priority to me.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted to, I could stop doing this and not have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about the money that this comes. Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
But I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
It's a good add-on. I don't have to. My kids don't worry about it. It's a good income and stuff like that, but I don't have to do it, especially with the headache.
Yeah.
But I do it for the joy knowing that something I made, something I designed, is on someone's
out
shelf.
there.
Yeah, bro. Like it's a good feeling.
Especially when it goes to like Canada, and then we had the Netherlands. We've had Germany.
That's so cool.
Singapore, Japan.
So there are stacks
England.
Far. They've gone far.
And I'm over here thinking it's cool whenever I'm out of town at a show and I see what.
Yeah, right.
And I'm thinking that's cool. You're over here saying international.
That's
like
so
yesterday,
cool.
we shipped 2. We shipped 3. We shipped 3 to the UK.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were like global like that. Like,
and then like I think since like thank God we've only had like 2 accidents with shipping that far.
No, one of them, because that other one, I think that person opened it with a box cutter. Because there's no way I missed a scratch down the damn middle.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. Because he sent me pictures like, dude, this has a scratch on it. I'm like,
box cutter.
That wasn't me. I was like, I would have noticed because usually, y'all seen the sales I do. If I see like a little scratch, or
and
it's
the smallest blemish, and you notice it.
And no one notices it.
I know it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to my work, man, if I don't like the way it is, I'll redo it.
I've gotten
same thing when I'm
several
drawing.
from you that we've done on deals, and I'm like, what's wrong with this?
No one notices it, but we notice the littlest things. Like
It's,
even like when I do my our signs and stuff that we do for work. like we sell them at a lower price. They're called blems,
Mm-hmm.
and then people are like, "Well, what's wrong with them?" And then we're like, "Oh, you see that little spot right there?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Just
You
for
notice
that?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, yeah, we notice the smallest things, and we don't like things to go out like that."
I think that's just like the creator and the artist mindset.
Yeah.
Pride in
You know,
my work,
it's
man.
not
I take
perfect,
pride in
so-
work and everything.
Yeah, so not everybody has that same vision.
No, no.
Like I could look at a shadow and see a face. If I tell it to just anybody, say like, "Oh, I can't see that." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Why I see that?" Because that's how my mind works.
And then
Yes.
like when we used to do shirts, like I would go to the store and stuff, and I look at people's shirts, and I'm like, oh, that's vinyl. Oh, that's screen printed.
Mhm.
Oh, that I don't know what that is. You know, like I see stuff like that, and
Yeah.
now he's
He's gonna have the
he
eye
does-
for it.
Yeah, he does
Usually
more.
with them, like, I have a sale probably like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'll have like 15, 20 cases, and they'll be discounted at $20 a piece or $15 a piece,
Yeah.
and that's because that's a little scratch or it shifted a little bit or it don't look centered. And I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, it's gone. That's not
Yeah,
send it to
that's not-
customer.
I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah.
Not send it to customer.
And
That's
then-
why when people tell me, when I used to do the metal prints, they're like, oh, you do these on metal. And I was like, do you draw these off first? Like, hell no. I'd waste so much material if I drew this. I do everything digitally on iPad because I'd mess up too much and I have to throw it away. Like,
I've done that plenty when I draw, like the portrait I draw.
he used to draw too. and
It's
that's what he's
so
good.
tedious.
Yeah.
this.
And I'll have like one part that just won't blend right,
Yeah.
and I'll go and erase the entire damn forehead, and I'll have to redo it, and
Uh-huh.
Go
it's
digital.
just
Go
tedious. Yep.
Yeah, he uses
Digital,
perfect.
the 2-tap, and it redoes that last thing you did.
Yeah, I do digital for my logo, like logos, designs, all that. But I enjoy drawing. And that's why I commend you because you're still doing this. I like drawing, but once it started becoming more like a job, I hate it. I hate it drawing.
It's. I think if it wasn't for my accident,
Mhm.
I think I probably would have gotten to that point.
Really? Think so?
But whenever I'm in the zone of like designing stuff,
Mhm.
it keeps my mind going. Because if I'm just at home and I'm not doing anything, I start getting, because of my accident, and then I get phantom pain real bad if I'm not thinking about doing something. Once I get off of work and if I don't go home and start designing,
Yeah.
I'll start getting phantom pain.
Yeah.
I'll start getting that pains in
The
my
placebo.
thinking my foot's still there.
Yeah.
Like I'll think my leg's still there and it's just numb and like I'm trying to lift my leg and it's just
Yeah.
dangling. Like it sucks. So I mean it's
He got in his head for a good while. Like
Yeah.
he was,
yeah.
no one should feel like down because you have to look at the only way to get an up is to take meds. And he did take some meds for a little bit,
Mhm.
and then he got off of it.
I'm
I'm
doing
still
it
on my
too.
meds because I went down on a breakdown. I was locked in my room all the time.
because
I
business
didn't-
gets to you, man.
Yeah.
Any business, like it's.
What
I'm
like
sure you
that?
have some days. I mean, you.
Oh, yeah.
All the
Any
time,
business.
dude. I have a lot of
Yeah,
Yes, I
mine
understand.
was
Because
mine
there's some
was-
people who do the pop swaps that they do it just because it's their extra stuff where they go and buy.
Yeah.
It's not like an actual full time business.
Yeah.
And they don't know like it gets to you. Like it gets overwhelming
gets up,
sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we all
Bad.
And that's kind of why we're kind of doing this. Everything we're doing, even like with the time lapses of my setups and breakdowns, people that don't do it on like a regular don't know everything that goes into behind the
It's
scenes of
easy. Yeah.
everything we do. So when they see that, now they're kind of like, oh, like that's a lot. That's a lot of. It's like, yeah, we do it. Like it's not just oh, it's super easy. I just make extra money. Like no,
I know.
you
No,
put
there's
the
times
time, you
take a
put
hit
effort.
sometimes too, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure the first year of us doing this, I took a lot of hits. Like I was making cases and wasting them because I think the first month of me figuring it all out and the
Yeah.
templates and everything, I
Yeah.
think I wasted probably like $400 worth of cases, and I just threw them in the dumpster because
I think you mentioned that
Yeah.
when we talked one day. Yeah.
Yeah,
That you just threw a bunch
that,
away.
and not only that, that first month I
Hmm.
burned out the lens because I forgot to turn on the
I
exhaust,
remember that.
Yeah.
so the flame hit this lens
Yeah.
and it put a big old
That
black
was
mark.
the worst $500 mistake
Yeah.
ever.
Did you say it was like a little, just a small lens, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like the size of an SD card.
It's like this
Yeah.
little
I
thing.
think I was gonna buy a case off you or a stack off you, and that's when that happens.
Yeah,
You're like,
the
I gotta
cases
wait.
were looking bad. And
Yeah.
I noticed it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to give this to you, but because of that, it's not engraving properly. But I'm gonna give you this one. And as soon as my lens comes in, I'm gonna redo it for
Yeah,
you.
because when I first got it, I forgot, and I was like, what side's kind of like, or is it
Light.
like? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I gotta redo it. Then we just doing a whole new design for
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
still
I
have
burnt
it
the
still.
lens because
Yeah.
as soon as that lens
Yeah.
burned up in there, like it's.
Which
it was
we
all
keep for
good time.
backup because then he uses it on like the most difficult things that he thinks
When I'm
he's gonna
burning wood
burn
and
it
stuff.
off.
So
Yeah.
when
Oh,
you
okay.
burn wood and any kind of anything besides acrylic, it'll flare up.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes you get a flame if you don't have the right setting for a certain type of wood, then it'll flare up a lot higher than
Yeah.
usual. So I use that as a backup lens. I'll test it with that
You're
first.
smart.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna burn out another lens because that lens cost me
No.
$500, and then 2 weeks after that, I forgot to turn the exhaust on again when I was burning wood, when I was cutting wood, and it clogged up all my filters. So like I had to get new filters, and that cost us another $450.
Just
So,
small, like,
Yeah.
mishaps.
Yeah.
You
and all the
you know,
material. Like I bought a bunch of wood, a bunch of acrylics. I spent like $300 on sheets of acrylic, and I just doing different shit on it just to figure it out. And I
Yeah.
wasted a lot of stuff. Like I think I was burning
It comes
through.
up with like the most randomest things ever, and I was like, what,
Yeah.
that's what you want to do?
It works though. We're
Yeah.
putting in the
How
work.
did the display thing come about? I never asked you.
Well, the display thing came up because I get this. I get asked almost every day.
Yeah.
Someone will order a case and like, hey man, do you make the LED bases for them to show them?
Oh yeah, okay.
Because usually you have a pop in there. The only way like it would be real good visible if it's at like you look at it at an angle, you're walking up to it, you'll see the design real good.
Yeah.
Also depends on the box art. Some pop boxes are black or they have more color compared to just white,
Yeah.
so it'll look better than others.
Mhm.
But some people are like, hey, do you have the LEDs? So that way it can because as soon as the LED light hits it, it'll light it up beautifully. But I was like, nah. I was like, I can do them, but then I would have to make them from scratch, and that's time consuming, and I just don't have the time for it. I don't.
Yeah.
We
if it-
used to make them. That was a thing
Yeah.
we did before.
but I just didn't like to. Not only that, I found a company that had like a square one that you can just put it on, but to keep those in stock, they weren't making them. Especially during the pandemic, you couldn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
anything. You can everything was out of stock, or
Mm-hmm.
they're on back orders. So then I
Everybody was
like,
bored of doing hobbies and things.
Yeah, so they were buying up
Everything
all
was
like
seven.
crafts and stuff. So
Yeah.
everything was on back order, so I just didn't offer them anymore. So like they'll ask me, and I know one of the other guys who does the laser engraving, he makes them too. But like I've had people message me and be like, "Hey, what's your turnaround on a custom case?" And I'm like, as soon as as soon as we finalize the design, I can have it ready by next day. It just depends on when you're happy with the design because I don't make anything until
It
you're
could take
100%.
up to a week or.
It just depends on how
2
many orders I
weeks.
have and how often. So like, oh, do you have an LED base for it? I'm like, nah. I was like, well, can you make one? I was like, nah. I was like, I don't want to. I was like, I don't really want to because you think about it, I gotta buy the acrylic and it has to be this perfect square, and then you gotta put the LED strip and you gotta get the good lights because if they go out, I don't like to make cheap products. Like I don't like to make stuff that's gonna go out in a couple days.
He gets so flustered when he can't get a product right, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Bye. I'm leaving.
It's frustrating,
And I
right?
leave home, and I go home.
Yeah.
'cause
Because
I
we
can't-
live literally 5 minutes from the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like there's days that I get so mad that something's not coming right, and I say, Richard, just leave me alone. Go home. Just go home.
Yeah.
Come pick me up when I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, I just come when you're ready.
Yeah.
I go home.
So,
Sometimes just learn to like move on to something else or just take a break for a night. 'Cause, God,
I
it never
have to
comes out.
force him because then he'll
Yeah.
stay and
'Cause
stay.
I-
I'm like, dude, let's just go home.
Oh, yeah, you're
you
my
come
boss.
back, and the next day you're
Yeah.
better mindset.
hmm
You know, you've slept. Your brain is turned off and it's turned back on. And
it gets to points where our bosses, the owners, the building, and the owner of the company we work for, they'll be like, "Go home, just go home. I don't want to see you here." Because, like I said, the alarm system that we have to put up every night, they know, like they'll check it like at 10 p.m. and they'll see me. I'm still there. Like they'll text me. My boss will tell me, "Edgar, go home." I'm like, "No, I gotta finish these.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow." Like I don't got time. Tomorrow I have to do these 10 cases.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to get these done. Like. So
okay,
they-
so back to where about the bases because he wants to
Oh,
know
my
about
bad.
the bases.
No, not even the bases, but the display cases.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
the way they
Yeah.
came up was because they wanted the LED bases, right? And I
Yeah.
told them that takes too much time. It takes too much time, and for me to spend all that time on something, you gotta think how much I'm gonna sell it for. I'm not gonna upcharge someone $25 for a little square LED base that costs, probably $5, $6 to make.
Yeah.
But because of how time consuming it is to put it together, I'm gonna charge someone $25, $30. Like that. I'd rather make a big LED base to where I can fit multiple pop cases in it.
Mhm.
It look nice, and I can charge my time for it, and it'll be actually more
Worth it.
worth it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, those LED cases will probably cost me, but the material cost, the time it takes me to make it, because now that I got the first one done, I can knock them out pretty quick.
Yeah.
It'll probably cost me about $30, $35 to make.
Well, yeah,
And I
especially
sell-
right now with lumber.
and I-
so
yeah,
it's
it
Yeah.
would, but it'll cost $35 to make, and I'll sell them for $70.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
depending
think
on-
that's a good
on what it
valuation
is,
for your
so.
time.
but I'm not gonna make an LED base that will take me. I have to wait for it to cut out, put it together, LED strip, and I was like, it wasn't worth it. So I told people, I was like, let me figure out a different way of doing it. And that's when that idea popped up in my head because I was working making a frame, and my boss, they do canvases and they do aluminum, and sometimes they'll be an odd size, and they'll say, hey, make a frame for it. So I got to figure out a way of making the frame. And one day I was making the frames, and I was like, it was like a big square frame. And I was like, dude, wouldn't it be cool to make something that showed the design of like an anime or horror, and then I can fit the Funko Pop boxes in there, and then have an LED base so it'll light up more than just one.
Yeah.
So would you rather have a little square LED base to light up one Funko Pop, or would you rather have a badass display with the whole picture and light up the whole like 3 or 4 of them? That's how the idea came in my head, and I was like, I think it was a Thursday or Friday.
I don't know. You ran it by me, and I was like,
you're tired.
Yeah.
So I was like, Rachel, here, go to Home Depot and buy this, and bring it back. She brings it back, and then I was like, all right, okay, now I'm gonna be here for a couple hours. So if you want to go home, you can go home, or you can go sit in the office and watch TV. So after like 2 hours, I finally got the dimensions correctly and the cutout and everything, and just popped in. Like it popped in my head in the morning, and by the night, I already had it all put together.
Yeah, because I did the front part of it, and then.
But I've only made like 4 of them, and I stopped because the wood's kind of heavy, and then also the wood's expensive.
Yeah.
And so what I'm gonna do now is make it all out of acrylic. It's all gonna be acrylic. It's gonna be a little lightweight, and this time I'll be able to fit the whole sheet of acrylic in the laser. So instead of only fitting 3, these new ones will fit 8.
Yeah.
So you can fit 8 inside, and then you can fit whatever on top. So you can see the whole collection of
And
them.
then the new machine that we have at work, like it prints over stuff, so it's like really cool.
It's like you know how like the director printers for like clothes and shirts and stuff.
That's kind of
It's
what
kind of
it
like
is.
screen printing, but this you'll be able to print on anything that's flat surfaced. So like I can do like you know how to do the metal prints. It's kind of like that, but that you'll be directly be able to do it to wood, acrylic, anything flat that will fit on the top of that tabletop that they have my bosses have. You'll be able to print directly onto it.
Yeah.
So I'll just have to print. I'll be able to print a big old sheet of acrylic, print whatever I want on it, and then just have the laser cut out the slot where the cases will go.
That's sick, bro.
That's so badass.
So,
I need one. I know I told you I need
yeah, I
one.
have a couple people that like
Yeah.
the couple people already mentioned, "Hey, can you be more bigger?" I was like, "I'm planning to. I just gotta find the time to do it."
Yeah.
I don't have.
We just been so busy at work because, like, during this time, we do stuff for Christmas, and you know we try to get everything in because Amazon cuts us off at a certain time for our Christmas products. So we try to pump out as much as we can to get all that inventory in for Christmas because if I can't get it Amazon Prime, I'm not gonna order it.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So, you know, when all of our stuff is available at Amazon Prime, so if nothing's in the system, our sales drop. Then we slow down, which is not good. So if we can pump as much stuff into Amazon and fulfillment, then, you know, we get a lot of business. And so it kind of sucks when we have to slow down
When our job gets busy, like our actual job, our 9-to-5 job gets busy, it leaves me less time to do my side business stuff. So.
Because I can work for our job
Usually
for
around
like
this side of
6
time,
or
I don't
something.
try to come up with new designs, like new stuff. Because I don't have time for it.
So much going on.
Anytime after like December, January, then that's when you'll see me come up with new product and stuff. But
maybe by the next Swapapalooza we can have debut.
The next one, the next debut,
Yeah.
Maybe
We'll have
the
an
next
exclusive
debut.
out or something. That'd be
me too. Be pretty dope.
cool. Heck yeah. I was telling him I was so excited to have y'all on because I feel like me and you, we got so much in common.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're artists.
The arm thing.
The arm. Oh yeah, earlier. Look, check it out,
yeah.
y'all. Okay, so I've broken my arms plenty, and apparently you have too.
Yeah.
And so he's a lefty. I'm a lefty, and I always
Originally it was right.
have had shorter arms. I don't know if y'all can see that. Oh, it's probably not okay. Well, there you go. This one's longer. The left one's longer than my right, and apparently, so is his. It's the craziest thing. But I kind of want going into another direction. I kind of want to talk to you about your transition from, like, you know, because you haven't always, as a you haven't always been in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I have, you know, so it'd be easy for me to talk to somebody who's in a wheelchair their whole life and be like, yeah, I kind of know what you've gone through. Whereas it's a transition, going from being not in a wheelchair to in a wheelchair. So if y'all cool sharing, I'd like to hear kind of like how that was that time. But I know before y'all do that, I would never ask somebody to, you know, share so much about you without giving any of myself. So my situation is, I'm pretty sure y'all are curious. People just don't ask.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
they don't
I've
ask.
always wanted as well.
And actually, I covered this in I did a Q&A video, and I talked about it. But this is going to go out first anyway, so I wanted to talk about it with y'all. So me, I was born with a bone condition called osteogenesis imperfecta. It's a bone disease.
Yeah.
It's a brittle bone disease, so like my bones more brittle than your average person.
Mm-hmm.
I did a bone density scan 2 years ago, and my bones were like at a 50-year-old's, like bone density.
Yeah.
So, they're weaker, and it, it comes with shorter arms, shorter torso, just shorter in stature. There's like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like, my whites in my eye are kind of blue. There's like a blue tint that comes with it, and then we got big ass heads. So, I don't know what else entails, because there's different stuff. I'm like a pop. I'm like a whole ass pop.
Something else, but okay.
Yeah. What's it called? There's different stages, but I've never gone too deep into looking it up, just because, I just kind of live my life.
It's very depressing to look
That-
at stuff like that too.
That, but mostly like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to be when I'm 50,
Yeah.
right? So people will like be like, yo, what are your plans for the future? Like retirement, this and that about future. And I really don't plan for the future, simply because I'm living now, and I don't want to be worried about it in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Oh, when I'm 40, when I'm 50, this is how it's going to be. I would rather just enjoy things now than have like a thought in the back of my head like, yo, like this is what's going to end up, so why even keep going?
Yeah.
So that's really what the condition is. Beyond that, I can answer just things I've experienced if y'all have questions. But like as far as the condition itself, that's all I can really give. But that's basically. Oh, and I'm in the wheelchair. I wasn't always supposed to be in a wheelchair, but when you're brittle, and more top heavy.
Yeah.
My legs couldn't handle the weight, so that's what kind of put me in a wheelchair. Because people ask like, does your legs work? Like, do you
Yeah.
feel them? I'm like, yeah, like I can feel it. Like, yeah, I'm not paralyzed. Just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people assume that.
Yeah.
And me and you haven't really been able to have this conversation because we were at shows and we're busy. So this is like a perfect time to have that.